So Donald Trump's defense team will begin to present their case this afternoon when day 4 of the impeachment trial gets underway. House impeachment managers, though, they wrapped their case on Thursday using President Trump's own words to try and prove that he incited the Capitol riots. Take a listen.
I'm hopeful it will change minds. It's hard to look at that and not see the gravity of what happened.
We've made our very best effort to set forth every single relevant fact that we know in the most objective and honest light. We trust and we hope that the defense will understand the constitutional gravity and solemnity of this trial by focusing like a laser beam on the facts and not return to the constitutional argument that's already been decided by the Senate.
All right, let's bring in political analyst Morgan Peckma. Joins us this morning with what we can expect from Trump lawyers. Good to see you, Morgan.
Good morning, Betty.
All right, so the impeachment managers, they wrapped up their case early, in fact, and really the big question they're saying here, and this is where they left it, if you don't convict, who's to say that former President Trump won't do this again if he runs for office or basically gets on a stage?
Right. That's essentially been the Democrats' argument because the Republicans have been saying this whole impeachment process is unconstitutional. And so what the Democrats are saying is it's actually highly relevant to impeach the former president because Donald Trump could be back.
But yesterday's focus really centered around how President Trump's words and actions over the course of his presidency led to the events of January 6th. Impeachment managers even claimed that the Michigan protest back in April was a test run for the Capitol riots. Now, how do you think the defense team is going to respond to that?
I think the defense team is going to completely ignore that. Even the Republican senators have agreed that the case made by the impeachment managers from the House has been very compelling. And so essentially the response from the president's lawyers has been to distract attention from the arguments being made and basically say that the whole process is illegitimate.
Yeah, they're saying that it's unconstitutional, this whole process, this trial, also saying that the president, is allowed free speech and isn't responsible for what happened with that free speech, but that free speech was something that he should be allotted. So 17 Republican votes, they are needed to convict President Trump. Many other Republicans in the Senate seem preoccupied or really uninterested in the impeachment proceedings because they've already made up their minds. So here's what two of them had to say after yesterday's proceedings.
Nothing has been so compelling that it's changed a mind from my perspective.
What did you think of the arguments today?
I thought they were awfully repetitive today and not much legal analysis.
Did you enjoy sitting up in the gallery?
I did. Better view.
So I want to get your response to that. I mean, is it basically that they're saying the Democrats are working on emotion, showing us this video, but it's really not grounded in law, if you will?
Well, I mean, I think any of us who have been a juror understand that you're supposed to put aside your political beliefs, your personal beliefs, and just look objectively at the facts. And I mean, essentially what the senators have been saying is that they're bored by the process. So could you imagine if you were a juror telling the judge, oh, I'm sorry, I'm bored. I'm just going to go sit in the gallery over there. Maybe I'm going to go look at my phone in the other room.
Right.
I mean, essentially what the senators are doing is they're abdicating their constitutional duty to hear this trial and basically saying, oh, well, this evidence isn't very exciting for me. Well, that's just not the way that you're supposed to operate as a juror.
Yeah, well, Republican senators reportedly met with Trump's defense team last night to discuss strategy here. What do you think that strategy is going to look like?
Well, the Republicans worked in close concert with the president's lawyers in the last impeachment process. I mean, essentially, they really are just going to try to get to a vote as quickly as possible because unless, barring some completely unforeseen circumstances, this is a foregone conclusion how this is going to play out.
Yeah, so we're understanding that the president's team may not take up all the 16 hours that it is allotted, may only take 4 to 5 hours, so they're going to wrap up quickly. 17 Republicans need to move over in order for this to happen. I mean, it's still early, but where do you see this going?
I think the Democrats understood that they should just wrap it up because the Republicans were starting to look bored. They didn't want to overstay their welcome with the public. The real question now is how many Republicans will join the Democrats in voting for impeachment. We anticipate that there will be at least 5 who have kind of indicated their willingness to vote for it. But then there's some other folks like Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana and the former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, those are the votes that people will be looking at as bellwethers for what the Republican Party is going to look like in the coming years.
It's going to be interesting. All right, Morgan, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Betty.